Well, I unmuted myself, so I'm just going to tell you real quick.
Okay.
I've had a lot of good information, but not really working knowledge. I know a lot about what you can do with smart speakers, but I'd like to really put that into working knowledge.
Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth.
I unmuted myself as well. I've been using my own at home extensively, and also support students with them. So I really enjoy them and use them extensively at home to the point where my husband gets annoyed with them. So I really enjoy that. So I'm always here to learn as well as to support others, but I love using them extensively within the home.
Okay, Tammy, thank you. Looks like a bunch of you are new. Some of you just gotten started. Google Home, concerned about safety. Echo Dot. Okay. All right. Good. Echo buttons. Some 3D printable mounts for Echo buttons. That's great, Ken. If you send me information about that, I could put that on my resources page. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And I just want to direct you to the resource page. I can get this out of the way. Okay, here we go. So here's a resource page, information about the presentation. There is going to be a short survey after the presentation. There's a link there. Some of you have already given your names and emails that address. That's great. Here's my contact information, and we'll be adding resources to this as we go along. If there's anything that you want to add to this from today to share with the group, please feel free to go into the resources document and add your information. Again, so I'm not going to really be able to see the chat window at this point. So once we get into the presentation, just turn your microphone on and let me know if you have a question or if you would like to comment. And I'm going to turn on closed captioning. And hopefully this will be working. There we go, closed captioning. If anyone cannot see my screen or not see the closed captioning, just let me know. Okay, so today I'm hoping that this will be a quote hybrid presentation. It'll be part presentation and part discussion. And this is in the spirit of EdCamp. EdCamp is a type of presentation, a type of conference where there's a lot of audience participation. The more the better. I'm hoping we can spark a discussion on this topic. So I'm hoping to provide you some new information, and I'm hoping to learn some new things from you as well. And just as a reminder, if everyone can mute their microphone until you have something that you want to say, that way it keeps the general noise, background noise volume to a minimum. Thank you. So a little bit about myself. I'm an assistive technology consultant. I'm based in northern New Jersey. I work throughout New Jersey and in New York City. I work with children and adults with disabilities. I do evaluations, training, setup, and customization. I've been doing this for a little while, since about 1991. So I'm coming on almost, well, this will be the 29th year this year, 28th year. And I'm also an adjunct at Kane University in the special education department, where I teach a full semester course on assistive technology to undergraduates. I am now a trustee member of New Jersey CART, which is New Jersey's statewide assistive technology users group. If you don't know anything about New Jersey CART, I encourage you to become involved. We're a great organization, and it's an excellent place to network with other people in New Jersey doing assistive technology. In the spirit of full disclosure, I'm also a subcontractor with the Disability Rights New Jersey ATAC project, which is the sponsor of this conference. And I do a project with SPAN Advocacy, which is a parent advocacy group we're bringing assistive technology information to parent groups of families with children with disabilities. And I also have a mini ebook called the Teacher's Technology Toolkit, which is sold through Amazon.com. And it's about pre-writing an idea organization. So if you're looking for ideas or some background information on pre-writing idea organization for students with disabilities, the Teacher's Technology Toolkit might be something to consider. Okay, so if you have a smart speaker, what do you use it for? Would you consider it assistive technology, and why or why not? So this is our first foray into discussion. So I'd like to hear from you. If you have a smart speaker, what do you use it for? So just turn on your microphone and jump in.
Well,
So go ahead.
I'm just embarrassed to say mostly I just use it for getting directions somewhere or when I need to use hands-free. But I want to expand that greatly.
Okay. So what kinds of things do you do hands-free with your smart speaker?
Mostly find find places when I'm driving, unfortunately. But listen
Okay.
free, right?
All right. That's a good start. Thank you.
I'm trying to find out how to use them. I don't have one myself now. I'm trying to consider downsizing and providing supports for my daughter, who's basically a non-reader and has some speech difficulties as well. Hoping that in a short period of time, but not immediately, to be able to get some sort of technology like this to help her in the apartment. So I'm kind of coming at it from a different direction. I haven't used it yet, and I'm concerned about privacy issues and that kind of thing too. So kind of a
Yeah.
combination of issues.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine. Someone else?
This is Tammy. I've
Tammy?
used it personally, extensively for, the typical things that you do. I use it around the house, as simple as walking into a room and turning on our lights to turning on our television. But I also have used it with students who use AAC devices to be able to communicate with those devices, as well as as they're communicating, to do things themselves that they'd like to do, turn on their television, turn on lights, listen to music, so that they can be accessing the same things I would like to do as they're using whatever they choose that they're not able to physically do. So I'm using it in an AT system with students who need that support, but I'm also using it personally when I don't need AT myself.
Okay, Tammy. Great. Thank you.
Hello, Adam.
Yes.
So my mother-in-law, who's 97 and almost blind, uses an Echo Dot to play music from NPR and also to read Audible books.
Okay, great.
Hello, Adam.
Yes,
Hi, this is Susan Eisenberg.
Susan.
We have a Google Home Companion, which we love. We use it mostly to listen to music. I'm a choir singer, so it helps me. We'll play choir pieces for me that I can sing with and practice. We stream radio stations, including ones that are far away and Sirius Radio. And we get the weather or the air quality. And a really nice thing is that my husband is always losing his phone, and that Google helps him find his phone. I never lose my phone, so I don't have to do that. I'm sure, and we ask it like vocabulary questions, like I like doing word games. And we ask general information questions just to become smarter. So it's really been a lot of fun. So we'd love to we got a smart TV a few months ago during the pandemic. We'd like to be able to tie it in with our television, but it's really great. We love it.
Great, great. Thank you, Susan.
Hi, Adam. My name is Erin. We have the Amazon Echo Dot, and I have a 2-year-old son, and he uses it to practice his speech. So he likes to play the animal noises. He asks Alexa to play animal noises, and it helps him learn to say the animals correctly, because when he doesn't, she doesn't recognize it, so he keeps repeating it. We also set up different playlists so that when we're doing different things, we can say, you know, play lunchtime playlist, play dinner time playlist, where it's a little bit more relaxing, getting him ready for bed. We also have it set up to control the lights, so we can turn on different lights in the house.
Thank you, Erin. I think a lot of speech therapists could take some hints from you. Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Makia Alexander,
Hi,
and
Martia.
I have an Amazon Echo Dot that my mom gifted me, and my children are in love with it. They choose music all the time, but especially my 10-year-old who struggles a little bit and frequently asks Alexa how to spell words.
Great. Thank you, Makia. Anyone else? Okay, I think someone still has a microphone on, so if you could just please mute it, that would be greatly appreciated. Any other comments, ideas, experiences with smart speakers? Okay, you can jump in a little bit later. And how can smart speakers support independence? There's a lot of different ways. And the thing that's cool, I think, about smart speakers is they are evolving. This is an evolving technology. There's a fair amount of number of companies out there that are developing smart speakers, and each one of those manufacturers is developing its own universe of third-party companies that are adding on capabilities that are compatible with each of the major smart speakers. So there's always new capabilities. They're being added all the time. This is a developing story that, you know, there's something new happening, you know, on a weekly basis. But the basic functions are controlling your environment. This includes turning lights on and off, controlling your heating and air conditioning, opening and closing shades, locking and unlocking doors, monitoring your outside or inside through cameras, and things that we used to call ECUs, environmental control units. For those of you who have been doing assistive technology for a while, there used to be, or maybe there still is to a lesser extent, a whole class of assistive technology devices called ECUs. And these were primarily for individuals with significant physical disabilities, and most of them were voice activated, and you would connect them to all of your lights and your air conditioning, your TV, etc., and you would be able to control your devices. Well, now we have smart speakers, which I believe are going to be putting most of these ECU companies out of business. But the good news is that from a consumer's point of view is that the smart speakers are much, much cheaper, and they do a lot more, and they're a lot more fun. and they're something that you don't have to go to a specialized vendor to purchase. So it's become a lot more democratic in that respect. But in terms beyond controlling the environment, you can also support social contact. So for folks who are elderly or living at home all the time and maybe living on their own, smart speakers offer a way to increase your contact with other people. You can improve physical access to things like making phone calls, like controlling your TV, operating different devices in your home. It can help you with organizing schedules. You can connect your, for example, you could connect Amazon Echo to your Google Calendar, manage it, monitor it, etc. We talked about security systems. Those are becoming extremely popular and have been out for a while. Supporting community awareness and supporting education. Education, I think, is one of the big growth areas in smart speakers. There's a lot more people developing third-party apps to be used, specifically designed to be used in classrooms and to support education, as some of you have mentioned before. And smart speakers are used pretty much everywhere, homework and school. The vast majority of smart speakers are used in home environments. I think we're starting to see more and more in schools, especially within the last 2 years. And I'm assuming that more and more people are going to be using them at work, but now that we're working at home, it might be a little bit different. All right, so there are some basic things that you need in terms of your infrastructure if you're going to, in order to set up smart speakers. Obviously, you need wireless internet. So if you do not have wireless internet in the location that you want to use a smart speaker, then you're kind of out of luck. So it's an incentive to get wireless if you can. But without wireless, it's going to be difficult to set up a home smart speaker system or in any location. You're going to need an email account, and for the most part, you're also going to need a smartphone because that's usually how you set it up. Most of the smart speakers are set up through an app that would be installed on a phone or could be installed on a tablet. And again, in the spirit of discussion, if there's something that I'm saying that you don't agree with or you've seen otherwise, please jump in and add to the conversation. I really don't mind at all. Also, smart speakers are not for everyone, even though I tend to think that they're really cool and they can do a lot of beneficial things. If an individual does not have good Wi-Fi or internet access and they're not interested or not able to get that, then they're going to have a little bit of difficulty using smart speakers, although they may be able to use some of those features if they have a smartphone, but it'll be a little bit more limited than through an actual device. If you're working with individuals who are resistant to change or uncomfortable with new technology, they may not be thrilled with smart speakers, although a lot of companies are marketing smart speakers as something that is easy to use by people that are not tech savvy, and that may be true. But I would definitely have, try it before you buy it kind of thing, and make sure that it's gonna fit in well with what a person wants to do. And individuals who have hearing limitations, they may have difficulty using the smart speakers that do not have built-in displays because you are relying on listening to the feedback that you're getting from the smart speaker. Now, the majority of my experience using smart speakers is with people with multiple disabilities and or significant physical disabilities. Many of those individuals also use AAC. And it's been really interesting and gratifying to work with the individuals that I work with who use augmentative communication devices to discover that their communication devices are very well understood by their smart speakers. In fact, in some cases, the smart speakers understand synthesized voice better than human speech. I've seen that too. I've also worked for many years with voice recognition technology like Dragon, etc. And I have to say that the voice recognition algorithms used in devices like the Amazon Echo Dot are excellent. I mean, they tolerate a fair amount of background noise. They tolerate different volume speech. They tolerate different accents and pronunciations. So they've done a nice job of creating devices that can be used by people with a lot of different types of voices. And from the point of view of someone who works with people with disabilities, and I don't have a lot of experience with this, but if you do, please chime in. I'd be interested to see how people that have limited speech or slight speech impediments or speech limitations are able to be understood by smart speakers. Anyone work with individuals with limited speech or speech limitations and having them try using a smart speaker?
We have at our organization worked with a gentleman, and there are some things built in where it started to recognize his voice and kind of learn his voice, which we were told would happen, and it did. But also by utilizing the smart speaker, his staff noticed that he was taking a lot more time to pronounce his words. So because put in that incentive, and it was exciting to find, to have this happening. So it kind of hit both sides. The speaker was really starting to get to know his voice, and he was incentivized to speak a little more clearer and louder.
That's great. That's great. And I think another participant had talked about her son who has some speech concerns. And I mean, you couldn't ask for a better incentive. I mean, if you want to hear that music play, or you want to hear that song played, or hear that other thing, retrieved from your smart speaker, and you know that it's only going to work if you're being careful about how you're speaking, and you're going to be more conscious of that. I mean, talk about a built-in reward system. It's actually really great. So I'm surprised a lot more speech therapists aren't using smart speakers as a fun way to help kids practice their speech articulation, etc. Anyone else? Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay,
What system does Elizabeth use?
Say again?
Which system does Elizabeth use? Just curious.
Elizabeth, what system are you using?
We were using an Alexa.
Okay, thank you.
It's interesting, he couldn't say Alexa, so we did the renaming of the device. So
what'd you rename it to?
I knew you were going to ask me that. As soon as I said it, I thought, I remember.
It's okay.
So successful, he hasn't had to call on our department to keep talking with us. He's been very successful with it.
That's great. And yes, and you can rename your device if you don't like the name Alexa, or it's difficult to pronounce. And that's a nice feature. Thanks for bringing it up, Elizabeth. The system that I've been using mostly is the Amazon Echo Dot. The reason I use it is it's inexpensive, and easy to set up. It doesn't take a lot of room, and there's a lot of third-party apps for it, but it seems to have very good ability to recognize synthesized speech. And for the individuals that I work with that are using AAC, they're doing things like checking calendar, playing music, making phone calls, controlling lights, air conditioner, TV, etc. We're also doing things like doing Google searches, which you can do with a computer. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you have a computer that's also logged into your Google account, you can set up Alexa so that it will automatically do a Google search for you, a voice-activated Google search, which you can do with Google too, but this allows you to do it 100% hands-free. Now, one thing I am not talking about today is, which I probably should have included, is things like Siri on the iPad. And Siri on the iPad is also a completely hands-free type of solution where you can do all kinds of things like initiate and make a FaceTime phone call. Of course, you can do all kinds of searches. You can send emails. You can send text messages, and do Google searches, internet searches, etc. So I guess I should have included things like Siri in this because functionally it's very similar. Okay, so the three main companies that that seem to be the most popular right now are the Amazon Echo family, the Google Home and Google Nest products, and the Facebook portal. The Facebook portal. The Facebook portal also has Alexa built into it. And
I don't know that.
my Echo Dot's probably going
Just so
to
you know, I can help if you ever misplace your phone. Try asking me
Stop.
to call your phone.
When I said that name that begins with an A, my Echo Dot responded, so pardon me for that. But the portal also has that app built into it, so it has functions that are specific to Facebook, as well as many functions of the Amazon Echo. And Amazon Echo is pretty much the first kid on the block to be doing this. They've been around almost the longest. They have a wide range of products, both with and without displays. They have different shapes and sizes and different price points. Amazon also has a large ecosystem of what's called skills, which we'll talk about a little bit in a few minutes, but a skill is basically an extra or an additional function that your smart speaker can do. Which would be similar, like for instance, if you had an Amazon Echo Dot and you wanted to connect it with a home security system. Well, they would have to be integrated, and the skills of the home security system would become connected to your smart speaker. I work with one student who has a Google Home and an Echo Dot. I'm not really sure why he has both, but if one doesn't work, he'll ask the other one the question. He uses it for getting definitions. He uses it to set timers. So when he has a break, he can say, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes. He uses it to turn on the room lights, open and close the shades, turn on and off his smart TV, and a number of other functions. And this particular student does have significant physical disabilities. So for him, it really provides him with a great level of independence. If you're going to consider the Facebook portal, I would recommend it for those who really do a lot on Facebook, because it's going to be able to connect with all your Facebook connections. If you want to call anyone, if the person is in your Facebook phone book or your contacts list, you can do basically a video chat call with them just by saying that person's name. It's a little difficult to add people to your contact lists through the portal. I think you have to do it through your Facebook account, but if you do add them to your Facebook contacts list, then you can access them through the portal. And again, we talked about skills. Skills can be accessed in the case of the Amazon Alexa through the Alexa app. And there's a special section in there on skills, which can be added. Many of them, if not all of them, most of them are free, I believe. And you basically add it the way that you would add an extension to your Chrome browser. It's kind of a similar idea. Many extensions are developed by third-party companies, but they're designed to be compatible with Chrome, and it's the same with the skills developed for the Amazon products, the Google products. I'm not so sure about Facebook yet, but I would assume that at some point they will also be adding skills if they haven't already. Anyone using the Facebook portal have an experience with adding skills? Okay, I guess not. Here's some resources for getting started. And I didn't do this on purpose, but it just turned out that Digital Trends had a lot of good how-to videos. And these are nice, setup 101 videos for the Amazon Echo, the Google Home and Nest, and the Facebook portal. And by the way, if anyone sends me an email or puts their email address in the resource document for this presentation, I will email you a copy of the presentation from today. Okay, now I'm just going to give you a very short demonstration of the Amazon Echo. I have one set up here, and I'll just briefly talk about how it is set up. Or I'm just gonna look briefly through the chat. Whoa, okay, a lot of chat comments. That's great. Maybe we'll leave a few minutes at the end and we can go through the list. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I just want to show you here's the Amazon Echo Dot. This is an older generation. The newer ones look a lot nicer, but they're all functionally similar. And this one is connected to my Wi-Fi. Actually, I have a Wi-Fi hotspot that I set up so I can do demonstrations. And I also have, and that works, the usual way. Alexa, what's the weather today?
Right now in East Rutherford, it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 70 degrees and a
Alexa,
low of 53
stop.
degrees.
Okay. I always like that command. And then also over here, I have a light set up. just a desk lamp, and it has a smart light bulb in it. The one I'm using is the TP link, and when you use this is a smart light bulb that also connects directly to your Wi-Fi. You have to download the app for the TP link, and then you connect it to your your Alexa app. And then when they get coordinated, you have to name the light. In this case, I named it Desk Light. I know, a very creative name. And then I can use the Echo Dot to control the light. You could also set up lights into rooms, and you could organize it for different parts of your home. Alexa, turn on desk light.
Okay.
Alexa, dim desk light.
Okay.
Alexa, brighten desk light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn desk light brighter.
Okay.
Alexa, dim desk light.
Okay.
There we go. The first time I said dim it, it turned it off. So this is, there's no other devices required. Some lights do require a hub, which is another device that gets connected again to your Wi-Fi. And then the lights connect to the hub. So you can have hubs for your devices, or if you have the smart light bulb, then it connects directly from the light bulb connects directly to your Wi-Fi. Alexa, turn desk light off.
Okay.
And let's see. Just going to go back to now. One question I often have, and I'd like to get your input on this, is, where do you think smart speakers are going for people with disabilities right now? I mean, I haven't seen a lot of assistive technology companies developing skills for the smart speakers, but I can't believe that there aren't some out there who are designing specifically for people with disabilities. But I'd just like to get your opinion or your thoughts about, where smart speakers are going to be going in the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you think it's going? How is integration going to be continuing? And what do you think is going to be the impact on people with disabilities' lives by using smart speakers? So I'd like to get your opinion on that. So just turn on your mic and jump on in.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
So I think that there is a corollary environmental element here as well. That is the Echo buttons. I don't know if there's an equivalent in Google land, but you can get a pair of Echo buttons for really cheap. They're Bluetooth buttons and they work incredibly well. And you can use those to control your environment. So for anyone who has at least moderate physical control, they can use those buttons to do the full range of activities as if they were making a statement directly to the Echo Dot.
Okay.
But it's that very low cost Bluetooth that's amazing.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna have to check that out, Ken. Thank you. And I saw that you're making 3D printed holders for the Echo buttons.
Yeah, just for some sites that wanted to be able to position their button on a wall or something, make it easier to access. It was a simple design.
Great. And by the way, I saw your presentation, really enjoyed it. So thanks today.
Hey, Ken, are those like NFC tags? Would they work in the same way that NFC tags would work?
No, they are press a button, and it just initiates a Bluetooth signal to the local Echo Dot, and then you define a routine that says, okay, the Echo Dot, when it receives this button press, it's going to do something, and it can do any of the things that an Echo Dot does.
But you pre-program it.
Right. It's just part of setting up the buttons in the first place.
Excellent. Thank you.
I know for us, we use this type of technology to increase independence for the people that we work with, from being able to use supported decision making and having somebody to call on at any moment, or to be able to use for medication, keeping track of medication. And so really for us, we're looking at it, smart speakers as being a crucial part of independence.
That's great. And that's for older individuals, Elizabeth?
Yeah, mostly probably 18 and up.
Okay, so adults. Okay,
Yeah, adults.
great.
Hi, I can see this being very, very helpful, both financially and independence-wise, for folks that are trying to have their own independent housing. The housing situation for people with disabilities is so difficult now as far as the funding is concerned. And being able to tap in more and more to various technologies like this will allow people to be safe in their homes without having someone there all the time to be able to do the things for them that someone else usually had done.
That's a really good point, Catherine. Thank you. Okay, other comments? Now, one thing we didn't really talk too much about it is privacy. And privacy is an issue. The speakers are on all the time, and this is something that I can't speak to as an expert, but I do know that it can be difficult to maintain as much privacy as a lot of people would like with smart speakers. There are some additional safeguards that you can use. You can mute the microphones, etc. But this does come into the equation of whether or not you're going to be utilizing these or not. And if you have more questions about the privacy issues, I can certainly look into that for you and help you research that topic. Well, we're getting towards the end of our time today. For anyone who's been on a grant, you have to collect data, and that's the case for me. So I do have an online demonstration survey. Which I'm going to, the link is in the shared Google Doc. If you would be so kind as to take 5 minutes and complete the survey for me, it would be greatly appreciated. And plus, I always like to get feedback on ways to improve and any comments that you have. Again, if you put your name and email address in the resources Google Doc, I can send you a copy of my slide deck, and if you have any additional questions or comments or resources that you want to add to the resources page, it would be greatly appreciated if you could do that as well. I have a few minutes. I can stick around if anyone has any additional questions or comments.
Yeah, Adam.
Yes.
So another thing that my mother-in-law would love to do is somehow control her TV, even if she had a smart TV with this. But remember, she's got very limited vision, so she can say things to to another smart system, like say an Amazon Fire, show NPR, but NPR has a lot of content up there on accessible through Amazon Fire, and things like once you get to that page, now you got to navigate to choose the content you want. I would expect it to be the same story with any smart TV as well. There's always an assumption that you can see what's displayed on the screen in order to navigate further. Have you come across anything that supports at least an audible navigation support once you've invoked?
That's a really good question, Ken. And the answer is I have not come across that. However, I do have a number of resources that I could reach out to see if I can get some more information about that challenge. And it's again, it's a really good question. I have your email address, and I'm going to research that and let you know what I find.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Ken. Any other questions or anything that I didn't get to? I know we didn't have a chance to go through the chat messages, but I will look through them. If you have specific questions for me, please send me an email. And I'd like to thank all of you for participating today and making, actively participating in our conversation. That was very helpful for me. I learned a lot. I hope you found it to be a useful use of your time, and enjoy the rest of the AT Summit. Thanks very much. I'm going to stay on a couple more minutes if anyone has other questions or comments.
Now, where do I find, like you mentioned, the send you an email so that I can get some feedback on the industry copy the slide?
Catherine, I'm sorry, you were breaking up. I couldn't understand you.
Oh, I'm sorry, my system isn't the best. Where did you say I could send you my email so that I could get the slides and then ask any other question?
Okay. Well, did you get the? I'll show you. I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
So did you get this document that shows
Yes.
all the conferences and all the sessions? So
Yes.
here's my session. You see this session 4.1 notes?
Okay.
If you open that up, that is this document. Okay. It's a Google Doc, but it's shared with everyone. So if you scroll down,